What up, YouTube? Flying Speech back for another video, man. We got the NFL playoffs coming up, and it's an opportunity, man, to talk about more teams than just the Eagles. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, man. All right, first we got coming up the Cleveland Browns against the Houston Texans. Houston Texans, the surprise team of the league. Both of these teams, honestly, surprise teams. I kind of felt like the Browns had a chance to make the playoffs this year. They're actually more impressive than I expected. I expected a different version of them. I expected, Deshaun Watson to be the quarterback, of course, and I thought this would be a year that he turns it around. I knew last year would be a little rough for him because, he didn't even play the whole season. He was away from the game for a while. But the Browns, man, went out there. To me, the Browns are the team that should have the MVP, and in my opinion, their defense is, to me, the best defense in the league. Despite what the standings are, I think they are the best. I saw what they did to the 49ers. I saw what they did to the Ravens. I believe Myles Garrett should be the MVP of this league. For my money, if I was voting on the MVP, it would be Myles Garrett. He's the best player on that team. And that team, they overcame a lot, man, to win. Losing your starting quarterback like that, the defense carry you, man, I respect that a lot. Then you got the Houston Texans, man, probably the surprise team of the league. Young animal, C.J. Stroud, obviously, clearly the rookie of the year. Surprised everybody. I mean, I know, obviously, you thought he'd be good, but to be this good this early, especially when you're talking about a new coach, knew everything, man. I can't even name the receivers he has that are like top receivers, not surrounded with the best weapons. Obviously, must have a pretty decent O-line, whatever. But to come out like that as a rookie, impressive. But overall, this game, this will be the first game, 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns. You're going with the experience there. I'll be really impressed, and I wouldn't be completely shocked if the Texans were to somehow pull it out. But to ask a lot from a rookie like that, is if you're being realistic, I think that's a tough spot for him. So I like the Browns there on the road to win that. Next, we got the 8 o'clock game, which is the Miami Dolphins going into Kansas City to face the Chiefs. Whew. This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. And roster-wise, offensively anyway, I guess it's offense versus defense. And the Dolphins, man, you would think the Dolphins could outscore the Chiefs in this game, but you know what? I'm not sure. I just, it's something about the Dolphins, man. Like when they go up against, real competition, and you're talking about on the road away from Miami, it's just really a bad spot. Like, if it was in Miami, I think I would go Dolphins easily all the way. I mean, they got the running game, they got the passing game. That is practically unstoppable and everything. But here, I don't know, just something about Arrowhead, 8 o'clock at night. That's a really tough spot for the Dolphins, man. I think the Chiefs win a close one. I don't have to really run down the rosters like that. Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the experience, the pedigree. This team, I don't know if I see them going out early like that. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs over the Dolphins in a close one at home. Next, Sunday, the Sunday early game, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. Pittsburgh, to me, the greatest franchise in the history of football. The Pittsburgh Steelers, man. A team that don't get their respect, they don't get the accolades, they don't get called America's team like the Cowboys do for whatever reason. Front office wise, they are A1, absolutely the gold standard. If you want to talk about from 1970 on, you're talking about an organization from 1970 that only had 3 coaches, man. 3 coaches. Chuck Noll, then Bill Cowher, and now Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, who I believe has never had a losing season. Or if he has, maybe it's been one. But here again, this guy finds a way to get this team to playoffs. Kenny Pickett, the new quarterback, this is the post-Ben Roethlisberger era. I don't know if he's the answer for them going forward or not, but they were able to field a team that got to the playoffs despite playing in what I believe is the toughest conference in the NFL. That is the AFC North. You know, you're talking about in a division with Baltimore, with Cleveland, with Cincinnati, you know, and you know, part of it is Joe Burrow going down, but whatever the case, that's still impressive to make the playoffs. Going up against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills, you know, a team that you just don't want to see. They're by their standards and by what was expected, they probably were not proud of this year. It was tough for them. But they found a way, man. Chugged it out when they needed to. That week when they lost to the Eagles, people pretty much had them dead in the water. And what they do, they go out there, they beat the Cowboys, they beat the Chiefs, they beat a number of teams, man, to make sure that they make it here, and then they cap it off while beating the Miami Dolphins. Very impressive. So with that, because they're at home, I take the Buffalo Bills to win that. And then Josh Allen, you got to give him the credit there. You know, and all you Cowboys fans, stop saying Dak Prescott's better than Josh Allen. No, the hell he's not. Cut that out, man. All right, and then Sunday, we got the 4:30 game. Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. Green Bay Packers, impressive. Rookie quarterback Jordan Love started off really strong this season. Then he went through a little rough spot. Ended up finishing off well. Good job by him and that coaching staff there to field a team that's able to make it to the playoffs. Dallas Cowboys, you know, obviously the team that a lot of people picked to, some people picked to go to Super Bowl for whatever reason, but, you know, one of the top three teams in the NFC at home have been difficult to beat. I think they may have actually been undefeated at home this year. So just because of that, you know, I'll have to pick Dallas to win the game. Green Bay Packers, I think, will make it tough, however. You know, they have a good running game if they decide to use it. They have a decent secondary. Some talent back there, Alexander, you know, other guys. I've always liked their secondary. But, you know, Dallas will probably find a way to win that one. I think it'll be closer than people would like. And then we got the Sunday game at 8 p.m. And that is the LA Rams at the Detroit Lions. This is the toughest game for me to pick. It really is. The Lions are a very impressive team to me. I love their passing game. I love their running game. I love their offensive line. Their quarterback is a guy, man, who's talented. Good arm. But he's a guy, man, that if you scheme him up right, you throw some things out there that fool him, if you can pressure him properly, he's a guy that can fold and will fold. Here, this is going to be all about controlling Aaron Donald, you know, who isn't quite what he was, I don't think, but, you know, he's still a guy, man, that you got to look out for. These are the situations where guys like him step up. So I can see the Rams doing that. They're similar to the Chiefs in their showdown with Miami, you know, going up against the explosive team. But you're talking about the experience. You're talking about the pedigree of being there before. You're talking about a team that knows what it takes to win in this situation. Despite that, I still think I got to go with the Lions. They're at home. They're in that dome. All that speed. I think they're going to be all over the place. Dan Campbell's smart enough to know when to run sometimes. I am a little concerned about the coaching thing. No, I am a little concerned about about the inexperience of the Lions. But you know, they're home. I picked them to win, which would be a close one. Very high scoring game, but a close game nonetheless. And then we got Monday night, the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My team, the team that I believed was going to go to the Super Bowl this year, the team that I believed no other team could could really match. I didn't care going to the season about the 49ers, Dallas, any of that. I thought the Philadelphia Eagles, had a team to do that. Despite that, I think what happened this year was the loss of the coaches. The offensive coordinator and even the defensive coordinator, Jonathan Gannon. Not that Jonathan Gannon was great, but what the Eagles had was some type of continuity, I guess, with him, with that they don't have the loss of T.J. Edwards, the loss of Kaiser White, the loss of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, coupled with trying to instill some wrinkles that a new guy put in, and then you got the fall off of James Bradbury. All of these things, and I guess maybe a late season Super Bowl hangover took the Eagles, and I don't know that they can recover. I think that I expected a recovery to take place, if not after the Dallas game, then after the Seattle game, but the recovery didn't take place. I know they're denying a fractured locker room, but it's obvious when you got, wide receivers arguing with the coach, and you got, Jason Kelsey and guys like that just really disappointed, and, Brandon Graham and trying to keep it positive, but it's just still not showing itself on the field. Then you couple that with guys getting hurt, man, like the Devontae Smiths and A.J. Brown's, guys that I think are talented enough to overcome the problems, but if they're not going to be 100%, you can't even count on that. You got a coaching staff that I don't know is willing enough to go to the running game and kind of ride that out. I think they don't. I think they lack the patience. I think they lack the wisdom. The defense, I think they have ample time. They had ample time to show us they could do something different. I just cannot see this team going on the road, despite the fact that they are the more talented team, top to bottom, than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The difference will be Todd Bowles out coaching Nick Sirianni and Matt Patricia, and I think the Eagles, this is where the season ends. There on that Monday night, I think Eagles will lose a game after being up. I believe the Philadelphia Eagles will be up in the game. I will say up 21-17, and then lose because of a uninspired fourth quarter where the game will just be taken out of Jalen Hurts' hands. I think they will call some stupid quarterback draws, and they're going to call too many screen plays, because what's going to happen is Todd Bowles is a blitzer, so the Philadelphia Eagles are going to come out there with a bunch of wide receiver screens. The problem with the wide receiver screens is that the Philadelphia Eagles have not figured out how to execute them properly, and I think this is going to be what hurts us. If the Eagles could somehow win the game, it will be because they will ride DeAndre Swift. I don't see that happening. I don't think the coaching staff has the wisdom to do that or the patience to do that, and because of that, I think the Philadelphia Eagles will lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a score of about 24-21, something like that. These are my picks. That's what I got for these games coming up. And we're going to see what's going to happen, y'all. Peace out.